the top 5 ways to increase your assignment fees. It's Rick Ginn with Flip with Rick, and you know what to do. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, smash that like button to continue to receive the absolute best wholesaling information available to you on the internet today. How can we increase our assignment fees? Let's walk through it. Number 1 is simply put, you have to qualify your cash buyers. What do I mean by that? Is simply get a proof of funds with them and make sure that they understand how to buy an investment property. How do I do that? I usually like to see it they bought at least 1 or 2 properties before I deal with them, because trying to train a new buyer that's never taken over an assignment deal is usually a disaster in the making. So what happens is if they've never bought a deal with assignment, you have to explain how it works. Most of the time, you do not have enough time to train them to get them comfortable to buy your deal to make it happen in this deal. Now, maybe the next deal down the road, you can train them, have them ready. But in my experience, to flip a property in 7 to 21 days, to teach someone that's never done an assignment deal, do not waste your energy. Prep them for the next deal coming down the road. They're just not ready for it, and they'll usually waste your time. So qualifying them by finding out if they've bought assignment deals before and making sure they have the proof of funds. Guys, if they do not want to show you the proof of funds, you are saving yourself a ton of time and aggravation. Everybody says they're a cash buyer, but a proof of funds is what separates the real cash buyers from the ones that just talk about it. Number 1, qualify. Number 2, I say this all the time, guys, is you have to match the hatch. What do I mean by that? When you have a cash buyers list, you should simply find out if they are rehabbers. A rehabber is someone who loves to fix up properties, who spend 50 grand on a rehab, structural stuff, and that's their passion, and they love to do that. The other one is usually simply going to be your landlords. These are people looking to buy properties that just need some work, usually under 10K, and get them up and running for cash flow purposes. Once you understand your avatar of that type of cash buyer, you can easily pitch the properties to the right audience. So I know what you're saying, Rick, why don't I just send all my deals out to my giant cash buyers list? Well, if you want to field 200 phone calls, 100 texts, and have the rehabbers try to negotiate on your landlord properties because they want to fix up everything and make it perfect even when it doesn't need it, I find you waste a ton of time. So if I have a property that needs $50,000 of rehab, I want to make sure that I pull my rehab list together, meaning all my cash buyers on the rehab list. Why? Because it's the straightest line to a profit for me. If I present those rehab properties to my landlords, they become obsessive over how much time and money it's going to take to fix it, and they actually don't want to do it. Vice versa, if I have a good landlord property, which just means maybe some paint, maybe it just needs a cabinet top, pitching your properties to the right avatar cash buyer. And in my books, it's simple for us wholesalers. You have rehabbers and you have landlords, and that's it. Once you segregate the two, it will save you a ton of time and energy. That leads us to number 3, which I know you guys have probably heard this before, but go out and get your biggest cash buyers list as humanly possible. Yes, I want you to do that. And in the beginning, that's what we all do. And we boast the number. Oh, I got 500 cash buyers. I got 700 cash buyers. I had somebody tell me the other day I had over 1,000 cash buyers. And my question to you is, how many wholesalers do you think are on that list? And the reality is probably about 80%, maybe 90% of that list are just wholesalers like you and me trying to figure out like what you're doing, because nobody vets the cash buyers. So if you're asking for proof of funds and trying to find out what type of properties they buy, meaning a rehab or a landlord property, this will get rid of all the people that are not supposed to be on your list. You do a huge disservice by having 90% wholesalers on your list because they're not really your buyers. Let's face it, a good wholesaler is not selling to another wholesaler. You don't need to do that. Quality over quantity is the rule when it comes to a cash buyer's list. So, well, Rick, I only got 30 good cash buyers then, according to your definition. Then great. You now know who you need to deal with to sell that property, as opposed to you having 500 people on your list and only 30 of them are good. What's the point? You're just wasting time, and you're giving a roadmap to other wholesalers on your successful areas. Ask me how I know this. It's so easy to reverse engineer most wholesalers, and I'm trying to have you prevent that mistake. How do you prevent that mistake? You vet them. So we talked about qualifying them early. Qualify your cash buyers. It's a 2-minute conversation. Proof of funds. Tell me what deals you've bought in the area before, and you'll find out real quickly if they're up to the task. You can use the VA for this, but quite honestly, you can do it yourself. It's really not that complicated. My next little secret, it's not really a secret, is you need to understand what medium to use to deliver your deals to your cash buyers. So I know email is probably the easiest one, but in my experience, it has the worst open rate, and a lot of the stuff winds up in spam filters, particularly with Gmail when you guys are using MailChimp, basically automatic services to push your emails. I find if you get their phone number, yes, that's part of the qualifying process. You get a phone number and you send an SMS text blast, hands down, will sell your deals fastest for the highest amount because it's personal. It almost 100% open rate, and it's the best way to connect with your target audience. And remember, the more people you can connect with to get your deal, say you're offering a deal for $100,000, is when you offer that deal, you want them to pay your price. We're not here to negotiate. Like, we set our fees and either they pay it. If you're that far off the mark, your customers will tell you very quick. I don't want you guys negotiating with people unless you've completely missed the mark on their price. Delivering your cash buyer message. A lot of people like to use email, and you can still use email, but I would definitely follow it up with a text blast, because text is got about a 99% open rate, and there's no question to you if they got your deal. Please use SMS as your primary delivery vehicle. Whatever service you use on it, that's up to you completely. And my last tip to receive the absolute best assignment fees is my experience of doing this 19 years is using real estate agents. And you're like, oh, wait a minute, Rick. I don't want to pay a real estate agent a fee. That's the whole point of doing wholesaling. Actually, let me walk you through this. 90% of your local market is controlled by real estate agents. That's a fact. You can't change it. So if you cut real estate agents out, you're cutting 9 out of 10 buyers. A good real estate agent will cater to cash buyers to do rehab properties, even landlord types of properties in your area. The beauty of these agents is they've already gone through the vetting process, meaning we talked about earlier, the proof of funds, make sure they've bought in that area before and they know what they're doing, and they understand how to buy deals on assignment. Those 3 things right there are worth their weight in gold. The other thing you have to consider is you're basically eliminating all drama in your deal. The drama is on the real estate agent, meaning the buyer's agent. You just deal with the real estate agent. So if you have a good rapport with that agent, they'll say, hey, Rick, it's $100,000. My guy will pay $100,000. He'll close it in 7 days. Send over the assignment. Where do you want the EMD sent? And it's done. It's done that quick. So you get speed, you get the price you want, and you remove all the drama. Guys, it is perfect. The fee's negotiable. If you put it on MLS, you got to follow suit on what you put on the numbers with that. But if you're calling and you're keeping your cash buyer agent within your cash buyer's list, and you send out a blast and they go, man, I'd love to buy that deal. Now you can negotiate that deal, but do what's right and fair. 9 times out of 10, the agent will work with you. So I usually pay them anywhere from 2 to 3%. It's up to you. On a really good deal, I've paid as high as 6 and 7%. Depends how much money we making on the deal, what happens with it. I will tell you, if you have real estate agents in your area that deal with cash buyers, and I promise you can pull a simple search, or you can work with one of your local real estate agents. It is gold, guys. They will actually do a lot of the work on the cash buyers list. I don't want you to put your cash buyers list away. I just want you to add to it with real estate agents that have cash buyers in that area that buy on assignments, and they will pay your fee. And here's the best part. Some of you are looking at, well, the agents, it's a cost to me. To be honest with you, the buyer in reality is paying for the agent's fee, and they're probably going to get you a higher net. And keep in mind, we have no closing cost on the deal. you really have little to no money into it, maybe a small earnest money deposit, you are getting above what you ever thought you'd get for it. And speed rules, and it's king. Those are my 5 tips to maximize your assignment fees. It's what me and Zach do in our business, and I want you to use these tips. Now, before I go, let's, a lot of people ask me, hey, Rick, how do you deal with the non-refundable fee? Here's how you deal with it. Have them leave a deposit, whatever you're thinking, make the number bigger. So if you're thinking 2,000, make it 5,000. The bigger the number you get up front, regardless if it's $5,000 or $10,000, the more of a commitment you're going to get from your buyer. Guys, anything below $2,500, in my opinion, is you're asking for problems. Remember, if they're a cash buyer, this should be a 0 issue. Now, Rick, where do they put the money with it? If you've never worked with that buyer before, they're going to put it in EMD, which is an earnest money deposit. On your assignment agreement, it says non-refundable, and you let them make them aware when you give you that money, it's non-refundable. And that's part of your assignment agreement. I believe that's all in our assignment agreements. That way, they have to come to the table. But guys, if you get like a $500 or $1,000 deposit, people walk away from that all the time. $2,500 will get people's attention. $5,000, I've never had anyone walk away from $5,000. And I do $10,000 on my bigger one. How much they put down in earnest money deposit, that's up to you. The more you put down, the better for it. And remember, the key when they leave that deposit is they understand it's non-refundable. Now, full disclosure, if they leave it in earnest money deposit and an escrow account, legally both parties have to sign off on the release their money. But say worst case scenario, say someone left a $5,000 deposit and they want to back out of the deal. Here's the key. They're not getting their money back. So in reality, it truly is a non-refundable deposit because you would have to sign off on it. And in the end, they're probably going to wind up losing the deal anyway. Non-refundable is the key. Whatever amount you're thinking, I always tell people make it bigger, because if you're buying a $100,000 property and they're going to leave $3,000, why not leave $5,000? When I see $5,000, I know people are in. They're going to pay attention. They will follow all the commands I give them to get the deal closed. Disclosing the non-refundable up front will help you guys out a lot. You guys tell me, what tips are you going to use to increase your assignment fees? Every one of the 5 tips I use and Zach uses, we use in our business today. And I want you to utilize these tips so you can get the absolute maximum profit out of each of your deals. Do me a favor. If you really enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this video with someone that you think would benefit from increasing their assignment fees to the absolute maximum rate. Guys, this is Rick Ginn with Flip with Rick, and I'll see you in the next video.